Hi, it's Sean Huntington. I'm here for my Rittenhouse Square Facebook Live event. Hopefully I'm working here. Let me just check and double check. Hope everyone's having fun watching the Rittenhouse virtual event. And I'm just going to see if I can see if I'm live. Oh yeah. All right. I'm live. Okay, I'm going to try to answer questions and lean forward so it doesn't look like I'm quite as fat as I am. Anyway, give me just a second. I'm going to check on something. Okay. So, here I am for Rittenhouse. My name's Sean Huntington. I'm a water media painter from Western New York State. My work is watercolor and gouache on paper that I stretch over canvas. You can see here, I soak the paper and then I stretch it over the canvas, and that lets me work on a surface that's kind of like painting on a drum head. I use lots of layers. I really go in depth with this in my 5 o'clock club Facebook Live event that you can see on the Rittenhouse Facebook page, so I don't want to go too crazy into my process. So go check out that if you'd like to see exactly how I do things. So I thought I'd start out with just showing you the painting I'm working on. Hopefully that works. This guy, unfortunately I have to work flat, so it makes things kind of weird for doing some videography here. But I'm kind of finishing it from the right to the left so I can show you guys some peeling in a second. This is a set of aspen trees outside of Ellicottville, New York, which is just over the hill from me. And alright, so I like how this one's shaping up. The sky is supposed to really evoke that really heavy winter Great Lakes sky that we get. Sort of layer after layer after layer of heavy cloud. So, this guy hopefully will be on my website tonight after I work on it in the next few hours. I'm going to move this a little closer so that people can watch me peel, because that's fun. And then in a minute I will be talking about the few pieces I have available. My life has been sort of crazy with commissions, so I actually don't have a lot of original art, unfortunately. But this guy will be one of them. It's 3 feet by 4 feet. So the latex. You can see I dressed for success today. What I'm peeling off is Incredible White Mask, liquid frisket. Hopefully I'm in frame here. This goes on white. Use a brush. This brush has been thoroughly damaged by this stuff. It goes on white, kind of like painting with heavy cream, and then it dries clear. So I did layers of underpainting on this guy, all these different layers of blue, and then masked out all these separate layers. And you can see as I start to peel, you're going to see all the things I protected in each different stage of the painting. And this is that really satisfying kind of gives you, you know, if you're an OCD picker type, this is probably something you should try. So I'm going to peel for a few minutes. If anyone wants to ask me questions, feel free. I do have my the laptop open so that I can see anything, any responses you guys have, I think. Oh, so this is a rubber cement pickup. If you try to just peel the latex away with just your fingers, you'll end up getting blisters, and you can smear the paint with just from the moisture of your skin. So this is just a block of regular rubber. It's unvulcanized latex, and it sticks. There's sections where I can just grab it and peel, but then you get into little tiny pieces, and you really need some extra. So it's sort of, and the fun part is, and the part that actually sucks a lot of time, I don't actually get to see how this is going to look until I'm finished. So you think it's going to work, and then sometimes it does not. And I should probably talk louder. Sorry, I did not invest in a microphone yet. So like I said, I'll be peeling for a few minutes, and then we can talk about this piece, and then I will probably do a little painting on top of it. Any questions that anyone has? Amy. Hello, Amy. She has just asked me if I ever rip the paper, and the paper has to be absolutely bone dry for this to work, and then the paper won't rip. The other thing is you really have to use the right papers. Some watercolor papers are just too soft for this process. This is Arches 140-pound cold press, and it's the one that I found really the only one that works for my weird method. Between the stretching and the masking fluid, you really need a fairly heavyweight, fairly durable paper. And Arches is kind of it's a workhorse. There's sections of this where, you know, I've gone in, I've scrubbed. This is really getting towards the last steps. You can see, it's just so satisfying, and it lets me have, like, both sides of my brain are satisfied by this process. I get the anal retentive side, that is all the masking and the careful preparation. But then the rest of it gets to be a lot of fun because I get to be really wet, make a big mess. That was good. Another recommendation I have is use very fresh masking fluid. Keep it in the fridge if you're not using it very often, because it does age, and it works best when the more oxygen it gets exposed to, the worse it works. And it can also eventually stain the paper. It gets sort of a yellowish cast. So hopefully this is in frame. So you can see where the tree was, the spruce tree was a layer that was below the sky layer, and as I peel, it reveals all these little lines that I put in. It's very satisfying. It's probably like analogous to when potters, you know, when you fire a piece and you're never quite sure how it's going to turn out at the end. It's probably something most analogous to that. And you have to do a lot of cleanup. You know, I'll have several hours of just making sure that everything is spiffy. Oh, you got a nice shot of my crotch there unintentionally. Oh, Facebook. Anyways. So there's a good one. I wore my most obnoxious shorts for everybody today. Anyways, so that's, I've got another half hour of this. Questions, people. Ask me questions so I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. More questions. Amy, ask me some questions. So, after I get to a certain level, this is still watercolor, so I use the, this is actually, technically this is gouache. This is it's an opaque watercolor, which is a very old medium. And I use like M. Graham gouaches. It's a company out of Oregon. Really cool company. Hopefully they're doing okay. And so lots of, I do a lot of thin lines. I'll go through, this really need cleaned up after a bit. But to get the eyes of the aspen trees, this is when the area that's protected is just it's a pale mottled blue. This whole thing looked kind of like a bad blue abstract when I started. And then I go through and you add the aspen details, the little eyes they call them, that are the spots where branches have broken off. They're little scar tissue areas. This part's pretty sad. The whole thing is, I find, very satisfying. Trees. I better talk about my little obsession with trees. I grew up just outside of the National Forest, just south of here in Pennsylvania, the Allegheny National Forest, and we were in the middle of nowhere, basically, and it was underneath an 85-foot white oak tree that towered over our house with this big spread. And it really influenced me. Lots of times in the woods. I love the structure of them. I love the repetition. I love the history of them. I love that when a tree is, when you see a tree, a large tree, that's something that potentially started living before there were, Europeans in North America. It's something that you see a tree, even a big street tree. That's something that saw the invention of the automobile, radio, several world wars, maybe a civil war. It's absolutely insane. Any questions? Hello from Tampa. Hello, Tampa. Okay. We'll let this guy kind of fade off for a second. So I'm going to show you some of the pieces I have available on the Rittenhouse Live, or the Rittenhouse Live, the Rittenhouse Square website. Actually, this is the studio I now work for. This is the painting section. I got a job as the gallery coordinator here. So there's I'll do a quick walkthrough because the space is so cool. I mean, look at the ceiling. Anyways, I've got the lights off so no one can sneak in, but here's this, here's a beautiful gallery space that we have. One of these days I'll have a show here too. So this is how I'm spending my days. Hello. Sandy's probably angry at me how I'm doing this. Anyways, I wanted to show you the painting. This guy, sorry about the glare. I'm realizing I need to throw one more layer of varnish on just to even it out. And it's reading sort of black in these lights, but it really is blue, as you can see. It's the same Prussian blue that I'm using for my painting here. So this is 2 maples at the edge of a hollow. It is 6 feet by 3 feet, 72 by 36, and it's available on the Rittenhouse website. It is wrapped in aluminum with a 2.5-inch reveal. And I just, maple trees are one of my favorite trees. I love the lines in them. I love the way the branches grow. They get kind of abstract as they get older. And they really show their history. If you want a better picture of this, because this is really reading as black and white when it's not, go to the Rittenhouse Gallery website. So what do I use for my varnish? I use a 2-step process. I do a layer of spray varnish from Liquitex that's water-based. That it acts as a fixative and a first layer of UV protection. And then I do acrylic medium over top of that. And then on top of that, I add more spray. And in the end, it makes a really bulletproof varnish for these guys. I also use colors that don't fade. There's some watercolors will fade away very easily. And I just make sure I stay away from all those. So sorry for the glare. Like I said, I'll probably do another layer of varnish. So this painting will be, it says on the website that I'll be mailing it. I have to deliver this guy. It's just too big to mail. So I'm willing to deliver anywhere, DC, Philadelphia, New York City, free of charge. It's part of the price of the painting. I also have these guys, trying to stay out of shadow. Sorry for the jerkiness of this. Hopefully I'm not making anyone nauseous. You can see the level of reflection that this painting is actually related to the painting I'm working on. And you can see after they're varnished, this one really shows the contrast between the aspen trees and the blue backgrounds. I just love that combo. And I love how you walk by this, it just creates so much motion. The other piece I have available on the Rittenhouse website, this guy is it's maples at the edge of the sugar bush. A sugar bush is a place where they make maple syrup. That's where they grow the trees for maple syrup, and this field used them as a windbreak. And so you have all these old trees next to this farm. I just love this little piece. You look at all the line work. That's all done with latex and layers of watercolor. Sometimes I get really anal retentive and craziness happens. You can also see, here's where little splatters. There's a ton of detail in this piece. I'm really happy with it. This little section is probably my favorite, actually. I love how the trunk, and there's that little dark, is it a bush? What's going on there? I sound very Bob Ross suddenly. And then my fourth and last piece for the Rittenhouse Gallery is this purple guy. This was, it's actually started as a study for a larger commission that I have to work on. And these are all 6 by 12, by the way. And the colors in this are actually showing up very true on camera. But this guy's another fun little, perfect little gift-size paintings or for that weird wall in your house that you need to fill up. They're very fun pieces. This guy has a lot of things going on too. I like work that is deceptively simple. I think my work comes off as pretty graphic, but I wanted to make sure. I like how my paintings there's a lot more complexity to them than they probably look. Probably just had a nice shot on my neck. Than they look on the shows on first look. So back to this guy. And like I said, I'm pretty low on work, unfortunately, or fortunately. Things are humming along, and it's very fun running a gallery. I've kind of wanted to have input in the space for a long time, and so I finally get to do it, and it's very entertaining. So back to this. So aspen trees there's layers of scarring. So this is my scrubbing brush, which is kind of crazy. Ooh, just made a mess. So when I start the aspen, the first layer is actually just a bunch of splatters. I do a lot of splattering because it gives you random effects. Nature is random. If you sit there and try to dot things in, it'll look stupid. So it's better to make a mess and then clean up the mess. And I'm really happy with how this is turning out. And I'll scrub off some of the silver and smear it apparently. So yeah, we'll just keep plugging away. I've got another 20 minutes. Please ask me questions. For the love of God, ask me questions so I don't just sit here and talk to myself. This brush. This is one of those brushes that looks like that looks scary when you first go to work, and but they're really, really awesome. It's a liner brush. I'll just hold my nasty paper towel up for when you do watercolor. You really want a big reservoir. So you're painting with a tip mostly, and the rest of this brush acts as a reservoir for the tip. So it holds a ton of water and paint. And you just go in. It makes these great little dots. I do have, I'm working off of a photo. I always work off photos because the latex cures in sunlight and won't come off the paper. So I am indoor only, like a house cat. Oh, hello, Janine. Questions, people. By the way, I appreciate everyone that has tuned in, considering there's the opening football game of that football team that you guys watch down there. You can tell I'm not a sports guy because I didn't even realize it until just a few minutes ago. Anybody. Any questions? Let's keep peeling. Like I said, the pieces I showed you are available on the Rittenhouse Square gallery page. There are links to that everywhere until 5 o'clock tonight, and then after that they go back to my website. You should buy from the Rittenhouse site though, because the percentage goes back to them and it helps support the show, because just like everybody else, they've had a year without income, and it's I want to keep them healthy. Plus they're doing an amazing job with us. So I end up with all these little hopefully I'm still in the frame here. Yeah, I work flat because obviously it's all liquid and you have to work flat. Have I ever worked in oils? I played around with it once, and I'm actually, that's about it. I played with them. I like things that are a little more fluid. I've seen some oil painters, like Teresa Haig, that they use very fluid oils, and that sort of intrigued me. So I've debated that. I'm actually working on a new body of work that I was hoping to have ready for Rittenhouse and did not, that I'm going to be using layers of acrylics. Mainly because there's some effects I would really like to achieve that I can't right now. Oh, that turned out nice. I'll show you the section I just worked on. So you can see I just love the layers. It really, I mean, you have layers of brush strokes, layers of color. I mean, there's probably, 3 or 4 layers sitting right there by the time this all worked out. So it's very satisfying. Sorry for the shadow. Yeah, I may work on oils in the future. It's just not really my thing. As you can see, I love all the, you're creating texture in 2 dimensions versus 3 dimensions. Like you can with oils. See right there? There's salt right there. Do I start my paintings with a plant? Or with a plant? Haha, yeah, they start with trees. Do I start my paintings with a plan? Yes. You have to plan out, it's probably most akin to printmaking. And if I'm really working on a complex subject, or especially with a new batch of colors, you can see here's the new section I just pulled. With a new batch of colors, you really have to plan how those colors are all going to react with each other, how the layering is going to take place. It's pretty complex when it comes down to it. So sorry. So I'll be able to hold this without. So you can see this aspen is about done, and you can see all the eye holes. You can see all the eye. Sorry, I'm talking too softly probably, but this aspen's almost done, so you can really see all the little eyes, the little scars. And that section is how this will look in a few hours. So check my Instagram, it's Sean Huntington Art, and check my website. It'll probably be on the website tomorrow, late tonight or tomorrow. I mean, I don't know, this guy is going pretty well. Lots of layers. Some of this I might clean up. You can actually scrub away layers of the resist, or with not the resist, of the gouache. One of the reasons I use Prussian blue is because it doesn't settle down into the paper as much, and you're able to pull it off with a damp brush. This is basically my life, picking little pieces of latex off of paper. I do lots of splatters and things. I'll probably tone these down and make them more blue later on, but it's sort of trying to invoke dust motes in the air or pollen. See how yellow the masking fluid is. And what's underneath is not. So you really don't know what you're going to get until the last piece of the painting when you finally peel. How and when did I discover this technique? The masking fluid is pretty common. It's a lot of people will use it for like painting the sailboat in the middle of the ocean. You want to paint a big ocean and not paint around a little tiny sailboat, so you mask out the sailboat and then paint the ocean, then peel off the sailboat and paint it. Or like the lights in someone's eyes, little things. I, however, liked the graphic quality that it gave me. So you can see this is really starting to come together pretty well. I like the graphic quality it gave me, so I just started going with it. I originally wanted to mask out poplar trees, aspens, so I started that, and I was like, I could do all my trees like that. So it just became this weird thing where the process really dictated how my artwork looks, and made a lot of my paintings look like negatives, and that's one of the reasons. So it's been a lot of fun. Do it for the process. Here's another little blob of latex. This is one of those things I could probably charge people to do. But there's a lot going on in this. And even the textures you get, see how that's not masking fluid. I actually painted that on, extended that tree, and you can see how a little excess water interacted with a little thicker paint, and you have this bleeding section. So it's just texture, 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 texture. Anyways, am I making you guys nauseous with all my moving around? I'm trying to be fairly steady. This guy, I wish the lights in here are very warm. So you can see right here, that's really the closest color to the sky. It's very silver. There's no gold tones to it. Let's see. Oh, got a nice shot of my junk sitting over there. You can see I'm in this is a pottery studio and art studio. Not the pottery's not art. So it's a fun place to work. Yeah. So like I said, here's one of my available paintings again. It's pretty cool. Same idea. These actually will have one more layer of shiny acrylic medium over top. But for filming purposes, that just makes it a nightmare. Here you can really see where the silver is not reflecting off the aspens. This piece, you end up with a lot of movement when you have that high contrast against the silver. Hi, Liz. I'm glad all my 25 Days of Minis artist friends are here. If you want to know more about that, check out my website in about a month. And here's I just really do love the line work in this. Not to toot my own horn, it just turned out really cool. And as you can see, I don't really know how things are going to look until the very end. Sorry for the shaking there. So it's pretty nerve-wracking. Thanks for the woohoo, Amy. Yeah, and like I said earlier, there's a 5 o'clock club for Rittenhouse that I did a few weeks ago that I really went in depth and painted the masking fluid. So check out their YouTube page. And Teresa, that's a good point. I need to have a business card here. And I don't think I have one on hand, which is very smart. So yes, it's www.seanstrees.com right now. We're working on a new website, so things will be different anyways. I'll probably set you up and have you look at a painting while I dig for a business card, like I should have a few minutes ago. Questions? Please ask me questions. And I don't have any. Yeah, there's no business card. So yes, I do a lot of commission work. In fact, too much right now because this is pretty much all I've been doing. This is the first non-commissioned big painting I've done in months. And it actually was supposed to be a commission, and they wanted to change the scale of the piece, and I had already made the canvas. So here we go. It's a nice size, it's 3x4. Let's see. Anyways, 5 more minutes. Yeah, so I'll just sit here. I'll paint some more and answer questions. I appreciate everyone that has logged on. Questions for anybody? I have a suspicion that football has sort of killed my presentation on top of my already lame. So we go through. That's actually dried enough that I can. You have any sort of contrast and detail really brings the piece to life. I'm using so my palettes are pretty amazing. I just use food containers. I'm working on such big watercolors that it's actually much better for me to use these big plastic deli containers for mixing because those little watercolor wells are just not big enough for my needs. Everything is sort of supersized. Oops. Of course you're going to go off. Sorry, computer, shut up. What is the hardest part of your painting? Oh, and thank you for liking my work. I appreciate it. It's all hard. I think, to be honest, this is a pretty hard way to make an image when it comes down to it. All the planning. There's parts that I really enjoy, but there are elements that I don't really like. Probably the hardest single part is the fact you can't really change too much. If you try painting gouache in really thick areas, you end up looking like which gouache is the opaque watercolor, you end up looking like you're trying to hide stuff, that you're trying to fix mistakes. It's kind of like you used whiteout, almost. And that is not a good look, and it's very noticeable. So these are sort of, if I mess up, it is a do-over, which is pretty rough. And slows me down. It's also a slow process, quite a bit of the time. What you're seeing is the end of a week of painting this guy. Like I said, I should be done with this tonight. And on my website and Instagram. My website is www.seanstrees.com, S-E-A-N, Sean. And my Instagram is Sean Huntington Art. And that's actually where most of my paintings go first. You can see there was a little bleed where it was still a little wet. And you just kind of go with it. Any more questions? Anybody? Little note about Rittenhouse. I've been doing it, I think 11 or, this would have been my 12th year, I think, which is sort of insane. I'd heard about the show. It was really hard to get into and very well done. And then when I got into it, actually off the wait list the first year, I was amazed. And I was very green and had never been to Philadelphia in my life, or really most big cities, because like I said, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods. So it was pretty exciting, and it still is. I absolutely love Philadelphia. I love the people there. I love the people that come to this show. Rittenhouse is amazingly well done. The people that run it are amazing. It's just, it's run by artists. Most of them now are my friends from various things. It's just, the whole brotherly love thing is real. You can see how I'm just adding a little water, kind of fuzz that out. Some of these are a little dark, so you can pick up color. A lot of this is just trying to find out when you start learning what you can do when with watercolors. There's a lot of timing, and although this is gouache is essentially a watercolor with a lot more pigment in it, or sometimes they actually add like a chalk to it. Teresa's asking me if I ever will try a different style, and the answer is yes, as soon as possible. I'm actually experimenting with some things. The acrylics, I want to introduce wildlife into my work, not in the traditional wildlife painter sort of way, but using metal leaf. And I'm kind of developing, this is going to sound very cheesy and overly artsy, but kind of a language of the animals, using different alloys of gold and silver and palladium. So different animals will potentially have different, be represented by different metals in the paintings, and they'll just be silhouetted. So it won't be, I don't want to be an obvious animal painter. I just want these, I like the idea of the next body of work is that it'll be it's the little things, it's the animals that you see as you're walking along, as they kind of run away from you, get these fleeting glimpses, and I wanted to capture that. And I thought the metal leaf would be interesting because you get this little flash of light reflecting off the metal. And I've gotten into metallics, honestly, from these paintings, so it's sort of the next evolution. It's some ideas I've had, and I just need to change so I won't be doing a new style, but it will be more of an evolution of my current work. Oh, it's over. This is over. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone that turned out for this. The 45 minutes absolutely flies. I hope you check out my gallery page on the Rittenhouse website. My page is www.seanstrees.com. And hopefully we get to see you next June in person. And watch, because I am in a Christmas show here pretty soon. So watch my website too. So I'll see you. Thank you very much.